Hurricane season is upon us, and we usually have a lot of numbers that come out before the season starts for forecasting purposes. So once again, we talked to our professionals at the local forecast office in Ruskin to see what they think is coming up this hurricane season. Brian Lamar, the meteorologist in charge at the National Weather Service in Ruskin, says that El Nino is dissipating and La Nina is beginning to develop. This makes way for more favorable conditions for tropical cyclone formation.
The National Weather Service has been monitoring the El Nino weather pattern, and the El Nino weather pattern is really going to be the deciding factor of how strong or how inactive the hurricane season is going to be as we move into the season this year. The National Weather Service advice really is to prepare as if this year is going to be the year that we get a significant impact from either a tropical storm or a hurricane. It really doesn't matter what type of storm it may be. We can go back to 2001 with Tropical Storm Allison that impacted Houston, and it inundated that, the most costly tropical depression in history. We can go back to 1992, a year that many people in Florida remember, and not for good reasons. That year we were coming out of an El Nino, just like we're doing this year, and the first named storm was Andrew, and as we know, it delivered devastating impacts across South Florida. So again, every single year, it doesn't matter if we're predicting an active year, an inactive year, or if we're in between the El Nino and La Nina, we should prepare every year as if we're going to get the hurricane.
So it's been over 10 years since we've had a hurricane. So does that mean that we're in the clear?
No, not by any means. Just as we saw Brian Lamar say, you have to treat every season very seriously. Hurricane Andrew in '92 was the main storm that he used, I'll use, that pretty much every meteorologist will use to get the point across that it only takes one storm to make it a very bad season for you.
As we always tell people, it really doesn't matter if we're looking at an active year or an inactive year, because it only takes that one storm to change your life forever. We're going to be increasing our what we call situational awareness once something forms. And so it could be a tropical cyclone forming off of Africa. We're going to be increasing our awareness of where that storm may be. It could be something like Tropical Storm Debbie in June of 2012 or Tropical Storm Andrea in June of 2013. Typically in this area, June is one of our peak months of the hurricane season, along with October. And so during those endpoints of the hurricane season, we definitely want to make sure that we're aware. And so what we do at the National Weather Service is typically whenever there is that cone of uncertainty that's issued by the National Hurricane Center, whenever one of our counties is in that cone of uncertainty, typically that 5-day outlook, then we're going to start staffing up. We go to 12-hour shifts, and we're going to start providing different types of services that we don't normally do. A lot of people think that it's the strong wind that is the major hazard of a hurricane or a tropical storm, and it really isn't. I mean, that will do some damage, but it's the storm surge. The storm surge and the inland flooding that occurs from torrential rainfall claims more lives than wind does in a hurricane. And we also have tornadoes to think about. So again, all those elements come into play when you think about how can you personally be prepared. So again, a NOAA weather radio. I have a NOAA weather radio at home.
If a hurricane hits, the National Weather Service is prepared to stay on site and bring you the weather forecast at all hours every day.
Meals ready to eat, almost like the military, so we can live here for a long period of time. We have a safe room in our building in case there's high winds that destroy the building. We'll be in a safe room, and theoretically that safe room should still be there. We promote NOAA weather radio. These days, cell phones will alert you with apps, and weather alerts.
Preparation is key for everyone at the National Weather Service.
Still to come, why the Suncoast News Network is the place to turn to this hurricane season should anything threaten our area. That's still ahead.